Hi, welcome to another SAS. This is Raj. Today we're talking about cognitive cognitive longevity. There were a bunch of things that I wanted to talk about, but then all of those could be grouped up into this one umbrella category. So that's why I went for that. Uh, so yeah, I mean, Conware Industries. It's mostly about having a nice cognitive outlook to your life and like having a good way of thinking about things and like uh, having fun in a sustainable manner. So there were a bunch of topics that I wanted to get into. Uh, Now, whatever I do out here is okay. What I do out here in these videos, or what I try to do, or even at the bitmeech where I try and create content for like tech stuff. What I try to do is have fun. Uh, the most important ingredient as such of like if something is going to be uh, taken care of in the longer run, like compared to even discipline, is like how fun can you make the activity. Now I like grabbing a cup of coffee and like rambling in front of camera, so that because like that feeds my ego, that feeds my narcissistic personality, so it's fun for me. So doing these sort of things, showing of Emacs and like sounding sort of eccentric, it creates a certain personality. So it helps me keep on building that up, buying into that image of being someone mysterious again and again. So that sort of helps with my ambitions of being sort of a philosopher, a neo philosopher of sorts. Uh, what I'm trying to get at with this is like uh, I want to discuss certain ways of just living or being or like existence, which you can personalize to yourself, like pick up on certain habits and do certain things that'll help you be a more consistent thinker. What I mean by that, okay, of course, you think all the time, but then how long do you think for in an aware manner? As in, like, what's your metacognition, like what's your metacognition index, or like metacognition density, or like proportions during the day? As like how much are you aware of, like about what you're actively thinking about in 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 the hours of your day? So right now, whenever I do these videos, I'm like being extremely metacognitive. I'm like thinking about thinking. It's out there. So there's that. Uh, Whereas while I'm working, or like while I'm I don't know, like writing some usual stuff, I am thinking about something, not that is not explicitly just thinking. It's like something tangible, or like something uh explicitly like domain specific, even if it's abstract or something. So yeah, that is not metacognition. That is just cognition that I am not choosing to be aware of in the moment. So how do you actually, now getting to the point, when I talk about longevity, cognitive longevity, it's like how do you have fun? uh how do you have fun? Yeah, how do you have fun, or like how do you maximize the amount of uh metacognitive density during your day? Should it be density? It's not a the ratios are the same. It's time upon time, so it's not a density. I should say the metacognition proportions, so like metacognitive proportions from your like total cognition time. Uh, so it's like how do you make it easy? How do you make it like frictionless? Is could be the word. There are a bunch of ways to go about it. Like one is having fun. Now, having fun, I do not mean in the hedonistic sense. That of course, it's 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 okay. It's fine. You have fun. Uh, but then from personal experience, it's not the kind of fun that you experience if you go to go towards maximizing your intellect, or like using it or applying it in a certain manner. So intellectual mischief is kind of one. So mischief is kind of great. I have been looking into sort of the ethics of mischief. So being also able to like lie in a fun manner where the other person is hold on, I you just give me. Yeah, so being able to lie as well is is kind of fun without harming the other party. It's like how do you have a harmless lie? How do you have fun with a lying, or like how do you be intellectually mischievous? Is this something that I've been exploring lately, and it's making my days more fun. I mean, I am enjoying devising strategies as to how I will interact with a certain group of people during the day. So that's kind of one thing. Now, why you should do that? Why you should do that is is kind of tricky. Just from like personal observations and experience, life was boring when I did not do it, and life is kind of more like life is less boring when I do it. Uh, of course, you have to like choose the right audience and everything, but then it's like yeah, you cannot like have fun all the time. But then even a little bit of it during your day, like being able to like slip in a bunch of mischief here and there during the day is sort of encouraging to like use your brain in interesting manners. I mean, you probably will do not have a problem pool of like the most interesting of like the most like problems that you need to solve during the day. I mean, so like you should carry your own problem pool is what I'm saying. Uh, as to like how would you make someone believe something interesting that is fun? Of course, that is like harmless for them, but then once they find out that is not the thing that they should have believed in, like the stuff that ensues, and yeah, how situations unfold. That is kind of fun. So intellectual mischief like that, kind of like harmless mischief, uh, is interesting. So far, no one has been harmed in one of these intellectual mischief exercises of mine, so that is good. No one has been harmed physically. Yeah, I mean, mentally, of course, they yeah, they lose trust. They do not believe me anymore. So they have to like double check everything that I say. Uh, but then the point is, then you have a better game to play as to like how do you be mischievous when the other party does not trust you? That is a better game to have. So like it's like an adversarial kind of thing. I mean, as the opposition gets better at like detecting your pranks and stuff, you have to get better at like messing with their minds. So yeah, this is kind of nice for me. It's been sort of yeah, fueling my social interactions lately. Uh, Now examples of like what I do is like the basic stuff is you can set up fake meetings. Or you can like do some wordplay, or like you of course do this only on your subordinates. Don't do it with people whose trust you do not want to lose. Uh, so do it to the people that are bound to listen to you. So that's that. And you can probably create fake tasks or something, or like yeah, you can a lot of interesting stuff can be like jargonized and like masked as important, but then you just like yeah, you pretend that it's serious, but then at the end of it it's nothing. So that's one way of doing it. Second is like yeah, you spread a whole bunch of rumors. You you spread some like nice rumors, but then you inject in some true stuff in there. So you see how these rumors survive and like how they propagate, and like yeah, it gets interesting. Okay, so this is some new category of social games that arises then. There are like different kind of actors in the whole thing. There's just first of all there's just observers who like do not partake in like spreading the rumors or like reacting to it or like whatever. Like they're like just ignorant of the whole thing. Uh, then there's yeah, people who like propagate the rumors and stuff in an innocent manner. They like yeah, they believe what they hear. There's people who like to partake. into the whole thing and like enjoy on the go. So that is kind of more fun when groups of mischievous people get together. That is kind of more fun as well. Uh, that is one way of like really enjoying in a team and stuff. So that's one. Uh, of course, linking mischief to a certain practical output is going to be kind of important for longevity, because like just being mischievous for its own sake doesn't cut it. So like, that's that. Lying. Let's get to lying. Like mischief is like one thing, of course, like wordplay and stuff and like everything, but then being also able to like lie in a crafty manner that is like not harmful, and like people don't really know what you're talking about in the end, but then they have to interact with you because like you have certain information asymmetry advantages over them. uh, so that leads to certain interesting connotations. Now practicing these things on them by themselves, like independently of any ultimate objective, is an important routine that you should like probably try and incorporate. So like try and build up a harmless lie, which the person knows that is like obviously false, and do it in a serious manner, uh, and then do it of course with people who will like cross question you, and try and build more elaborate lies around that lie in real time. That really builds up your lying muscle. So over time you get really good at stretching up stories. So that's a nice skill to have. The better the adversaries in this context, doesn't like the better people you have around you to ask questions and like really find flaws. The longer this game goes, uh, given that you get better over time. So you getting better over time, and like these kind of things like really helps out a lot. So that's one more thing. Like that's one way to have fun. So like have like a lying chain, a lie chain. So yeah, how long can the lying rally go? That's one. And the fun part is to to make it to make it uh, to make it believable, to not lie outright, but then to lie with to construct a reality with evidence, so that the other person of course know that this guy is lying, but they can't prove it because of the way you're seeing it. So that's one way of doing it. Now you can be really ambitious with your lies, or you can sprinkle in uh, a bunch of truths with a few lies, or you can like say a whole lot of truth with a minor lie. So like tuning that lie to lie lie to like uh, truth ratio of your interaction will show some interesting games. Doing it with new people you haven't talked to before in a serious manner, is actually more fun than people who actually know you beforehand. Because like yeah, when meeting new people you get to build a whole bunch of rumors or like stories around you, or about other people around you. So of course do it in a harmless manner, like disclaimers like all around, like do it in a harmless manner. Now what exactly is harmless, the ethics of mischief, that is something you have to like personally explore and like be careful about. But then yeah, this has kind of added a whole bunch of nice flavor to my social interactions, so I'm like enjoying them lately. I am more of a solitude person, but then I get to test out these techniques on a whole bunch of test subjects from time to time. So that's kind of nice. That does give a nice flavor to stuff. So like tuning these ratios, you do not have to be absolute in like what you do, like being honest or lying all the time. So it's tuning these ratios, tuning the useful information that you give out, that people actually would use, and the useless information that you give out, tuning that across like different phases of like discussions and stuff. That is also like a really interesting thing to do. Now you could you could sort of like create a whole bunch of So the fun part is like everyone's life is a whole bunch of it is like personal. So like you can cook up a whole bunch of your life. Like you can create sort of imaginary life trajectories, and yeah. So uh, lying like that is kind of fun. So I have been exploring this lately, and I've been enjoying it quite a lot. So it longevity wise, it helps me network more. It helps me, yeah. Uh, I mean, my goal is not to be rememberable, but then just to like be able to like pass time when I'm in a social setting. Otherwise, I'm like a solitude person. So if I was to have boring conversations all the time, that would be kind of, yeah, boring. I mean, I can be the person who just like answers questions right away, like be like as straightforward as possible. But that is not quite fun. I mean, I don't know like why I have been getting into this idea of like, is it fun lately? I mean, I used to just do things for the sake of doing those things to achieve certain goals. But then now my goals are being influenced by, is it fun? Uh, Rather than this being a good or a bad thing, I see it as a thing. I mean, I'm in an observation phase about it right now. I, of course, do the essentials. And if the essentials are like fairly essential, I find a way to make them fun. I like attach their outcomes to like having fun in a certain way. So this is kind of that. Uh, that's one. Another way of like yeah, another way of like having really interesting conversations and like really giving your brain a good run for its like money, like to like exploit its compute, and like is pretending you actually do not know something, pretending you do not know something very specific. So it's like being able to partition of your brain into separate domains, or like uh, separate knowledge graphs, knowledge spaces, and having an internal conversations, and like trying to teach one partition about something that the other partition knows. Uh, this is one way of doing it when you do not have any other actors around you. Another way of doing this, and like which is more fun, is when getting into conversations with other people to like really believe that you do not know something. Now it's difficult. It's like really difficult. That's like the toughest thing ever. To ask questions in a manner such that you are like blind to what is the context as of right now, and you like genuinely curious about like what needs to be explored. That gives you a certain different sort of, that puts you in a certain different mode. It makes me think really hard on like how do I, rather than just pretend, how do I really forget something for the moment and like ask good questions. uh, that has been kind of an interesting thing. So that is something that I do a whole lot more. uh, yeah, I mean, it's not about putting on a veil of incompetence. It's more about, I wouldn't even say thinking from a beginner's mindset. If you truly want to understand like how to either like this is like a really good practice for like learning how to teach stuff. So like that's really, because like okay, and of course in the middle of this conversation you will have thoughts like this and this about this particular thing that you're pretending to like not know about, uh, and that will influence your questions. But then to partition yourself off, like intellectually partition yourself off into a different personality that quote unquote does not know about something, and then framing your questions like that active filter, will I be able to have this sort of a question if I did not know about this, is a very interesting thing. So it's a good exercise for like intellectuals. It's a good exercise for like smart people. Uh, yeah, it really helps with like keeping the world interesting. Uh, I mean, if the world outside you is not offering much complexity to like engage your intellectual senses and like intellectual being, you need to take charge of it and like create your own games. Is where I'm getting at. Uh, Now, I do not want to sound like, I don't know, like full of myself or like whatever. But then if you're like even like slightly observant and like you think a lot and you like, yeah, you like to think a lot, you philosophize, uh the world tends to get boring pretty quickly. The usual things stop to be uh as awesome as they used to be when you first saw them. So it's that. So you have to continuously keep on creating your own cognitive situations and games, and like that is what keeps me ticking these days. If I were not to do any of these quote unquote mischievous things, I would be bored. I would be like really bored, and like life would be like pretty boring. So to like take charge of that intellectual complexity in your own brain, because like I have been given over time, like I have been exploring like what the brain can do, and like I'm kind of amused. Uh, you can go into like thinking rabbit holes of like what made you think a certain thing, to really think, or like to really meditate in a higher order like manner, in like a metacognitive manner, upon like your thought chains and stuff. That really gives you a very interesting insight into your brain. So the world stops becoming boring. Now boredom as such is not a bad thing, of course, uh, but then once you like start employing such strategies, I haven't been bored in a good way. I am still doing the things that would usually bore me if I were not to employ fun and mischief and like apply them in such manners. So that is aiding my longevity in terms of like how long can I stay on the task or like the mission or the objective or whatever. And yeah, that's kind of nice. So these were just a few games that I've been trying lately. So there's like lying in a quote, like lying in a harmless manner, like disclaimers all around, like no one has been harmed so far because of my lies. Uh, then what else? I talked about like, yeah, uh, actually pretending that you do not know something and like conversing like with true belief to that. Like really, that's really hard. That's like probably the hardest game in here. Like really actively forgetting like some interesting thing, and like yeah, and like and like yeah, continuing conversations like that. Third is like, yeah, I mean that is like, yeah, there's like, yeah, spreading a whole bunch of tuning tuning your ratios of like how much you lie or how much you don't know and how much you know, tuning those ratios in conversations in an interesting manner, and like doing it and like, and okay, so consider this like a state, the state being like your state of knowledge, and like how you project it in your speech being like ratios of like how much you know, how much you don't know, and how much you're going to lie about, of which you know that you're lying. So that's one. uh, let that be a vector, like sort of a state, like a tuple or something of like the that represents the state of your knowledge space, and like how you projecting, like so it's like a state plus certain procedures that capture your being in the moment. uh, the more intense game is to let this state evolve in a consistent manner, for lack of better words, in a differentiable manner, in a logically differentiable manner. So for example, uh, yeah, I mean, if you lied about something, maintaining the consistency of that lie across different conversations with different sorts of people. Also, like one more interesting is like you can like say different lies to different people, and like maintaining the consistency, different groups of people, and maintaining uh, the consistency of that lie with those different memories is kind of a very interesting exercise. So that like really strains your brain as to like, I think it's like better than like learning languages and stuff to like maintain multiple lives. One word of caution though, you should always have your true self being documented somewhere. So that's what I do here in the blogs, Conware, the Bitmage, and like my journals and stuff. Because there's a real chance that you might forget who you truly are if you like lie so much. So yeah, I never lie in these videos or like in my blogs or my journals or like whatever. I'm always true to myself. Yeah, that's a good gauge. Never lie to yourself. Always be true to yourself. Otherwise, like, yeah, I mean, enjoy, man, enjoy lying. So it's kind of fun. Of course, like, disclaimer all around, like, harmless lies. Now, how to be harmless and stuff is a really intricate question. Uh, I was just err towards being more cautious than usual when you're lying. Yeah, that's probably what I could say. So yeah, I mean, longevity wise, these sort of games keep life interesting. Otherwise, I don't know, I would have stopped thinking a long while ago. Because like the tasks that human life as such, uh, the majority of tasks that human life demands of you are repetitive, and they fit a template, and they're not that interesting. So like intellectuals and like people who think a lot and like process stuff like pretty quickly, they get bored quite quickly. So longevity wise, like boredom is like probably the most formidable enemy out there, in terms of like continuing a task. So these kind of games help keep it interesting, and yeah, I think that was a pretty serendipitous session. So this was Raj. Those were some games on like how to maintain your cognitive longevity while doing the usual things in life. Uh, Not without. So these things that I talked about, you can like explicitly apply right away in whatever you're doing in your life. So it's kind of nice and interesting. Have a good one. See you in the next one. This was SAS X 12.